President Trump's former health advisor outlines the White House's phased reentry plan. Here's One America's Jack Posobiec with the details.
We are very excited to welcome to One America News for the very first time Katie Talento. She is an infectious disease epidemiologist and a former member of the president's domestic policy team. Katie, thank you so much for taking time to be with us.
Thank you.
Bottom line, where do you see this pandemic going in the next few weeks and months, at least in America?
Yeah, so I think what we're going to see are two paths. We see one path where we have no containment, and we're really trying to mitigate what has become sort of a disaster in situations like New York or LA has a lot of cases, but there's really nothing that's as bad as New York or New York City rather. So, and we have a pretty serious outbreak in New Orleans, starting to see a lot of cases in Illinois. So those types of larger scale problems are being dealt with in a mitigation approach, as opposed to what we see in an early and smaller epidemic where you've got a containment approach. And in a containment approach, what we do is we find and treat every case, and then we find the contacts of that case, and we treat every single one of them. So this is what we call contact tracing, or we chase every case. You can do that when you only have a limited number of cases and you can identify them all. It's really important in that environment to have testing so that we can test every contact, and then we can test the contacts of the contact. So that's how we control an epidemic when it's still controllable, and we have the manpower and resources to chase those cases. In a larger epidemic where we don't have that manpower and we can't chase every case, we don't know where every case came from because there's sort of uncontrolled community transmission. That's what we're seeing in New York City. That's what we're seeing in Washington State. It's what we're seeing in LA and New Orleans. And in those situations, you're going to have more of a lockdown to try to interrupt transmission in the community. And so I think you'll see localized control measures. You might have a more serious or draconian lockdown in New York City than you're going to need in Virginia, where I'm right now. We only have a manageable number of cases. We may not need to have the lockdown that our governor recently put us under, and that's so destructive to so many businesses. I think that those economic trade-offs will start to really play out in the locations that don't have as big a problem as New York City does, for instance. So I think that we'll see a two-track system.
Katie Talento, thank you so much for your insights, and thank you so much for being here with us on One America News.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.